and ladies. Injury-wise, Corey's going to be out. Sheldon Rankins, obviously, he's out. Herbie will be limited today, and Dwayne Brown should be limited today also.
The status for the game, probably questionable?
Yeah, I believe that's what it's going to. I have an old sheet. They're going to both be questionable, but should be ready to roll.
With Corey,
You said she should be ready to roll, like in regards to Herbie?
Yeah.
Okay.
with Corey, Robert, I remember he said after the game in Denver that the doctors had cleared him to come back into the game if he could have passed him to play. He was just running on the sidelines if he felt comfortable. Here we are, 4 weeks later, he's still not playing. Is it worse than initially thought? Or
No, it's when you're dealing with those knee sprains, they heal differently. I think we're all really, really confident in his ability to get back with us next week. But right now, it's unfortunately he's out.
You mentioned earlier in the week you guys kind of got ate up in the field position battle when you first played them. How do you go about correcting that in the second matchup? What are like the factors and like the keys you have to?
No, it's good. Special teams, really everywhere, all three phases, it's about winning one-on-one battles. They're as good as anybody in terms of creating one-on-one battles and winning, and it's a strain. They fight. They're very well coached, and it comes down to winning our one-on-one battles, being disciplined, and doing our job to the best of our ability, and winning by all means necessary.
With Corey, is it a luxury that you guys have where you can take your time with him getting back because of how Mims has played lately?
Absolutely. He's really done a nice job. Like I've said, his mentality, the confidence at which he's playing with, and I know you guys don't get to see practice, and not that practice is always an indicator of how things will go in the game, but he's been fantastic. So he's building a lot of trust with the coaching staff, his teammates, and just excited to see him continue to find ways to get better.
I think it was a few weeks ago after one of the wins that DJ Reed said that this team thrives on the road because they feel like you're on your own on the road. Like it's just us. I think is what he said. Like, why do you think this team has like taken on that kind of us against them kind of thing when you guys hit the road?
That's probably more of a locker room question. Like I always said, say and do whatever you need to do to get yourself ready to play. You guys remember that movie, The Program? When Alvin Mack was just yelling at the guy in the backfield, just getting himself pumped up, by all means necessary. You're too. Look, poor Connor's too young. You never watched the program, have you? Well, you go rent that movie. It's a heck of a movie, man.
I remember The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler.
There we go. You got to rent. Program's a treat. It's a good one.
Robert, you guys could be in first place if you win this game. Do you embrace that when you're talking to the team? Do you address that? Do you address the standings, or do you just kind of leave that alone?
No, I think it's I said it earlier in the week. Whether we win or lose, first place, last place, there's still 7 games left. It doesn't matter. You've got to focus on the moment, and if you start counting, it's like Kenny Rogers. You don't count when you're at the table, right? You just keep playing, and in the case of us group, just stay focused on the moment. Today, this is a championship week, and it's a championship week not because it's New England, it's a championship week because it's the next one. And then next week will be another championship opportunity versus Chicago. So it's just important for us to stay within the moment. And there's going to be a time where we can start looking and talking scenarios and make the adjustments that we need to make, whatever has to happen, but we're a long way from that.
I know you talked about, I know you said you're in for the moment, but, it's almost December, and you talked about playing meaningful games in December and heading into January. So that kind of has to feel somewhat good to play in December.
Yeah, because it's easier to talk to guys, because we all know we're not just going to ram our heads into a wall and hurt for, not necessarily for nothing, but it's more rewarding when you're playing for more than just a paycheck. And so when you're playing for more than just a paycheck, then it's much easier to show tape. Everyone's more coachable. Coaches are more coachable. We all just want to find ways to get better. So that's the easy part, and that's what it brings us, and it just gives us a chance to continually find ways to get better. But I think anytime you play for more than just a paycheck, it's rewarding.
You guys officially signed LVP to the practice squad. What did you see in his workout?
Was it official?
Yeah.
Okay. Been in meetings.
Think I'm trying to fill a rookie?
Was just checking. Sometimes, Kaz. Sometimes. No, He looks good. He was so cool last year. Joe made the trade, and it was beneficial. Really stepped in and helped solidify the inside of that offensive line. So to add veteran presence, somebody who knows our system, somebody who's played and started in NFL games in this division, knows what it's like, knows our language, to bring that, to be able to add that is definitely a plus.
How impressive is that, though, that he's been able to kind of balance both aspects of his life, to kind of go into the medical residency, start for you guys last year, that kind of stuff?
It's phenomenal. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle football, but you don't normally see a doctor. I think Akella Witherspoon is the closest I've been around in terms of he was a corner with us in San Fran. He's at Pittsburgh now, but he can go to med school. And almost too smart to play football, but I've said it before. These guys they're so young and so talented, and they're doing stuff that I couldn't even fathom doing when I was 22 years old, 24, whatever it was. So they never cease to amaze me with what they're capable of.
Someone we haven't really asked you about this season is Nathan Shepard, who's presumably going to play a little more with Sheldon now. What has he done this year for you guys?
He's been steady. He's been exactly what we hope. Plays his absolute tail off. He plays violent. I feel like he's played a much smarter style of football, and with regards to bringing down the amount of the penalties that he's been victim of, and he's really taken comfort into our style of play up front, and we had this King of Strain award, and he's like the spokesperson for King of Strain. I mean, everything he does is strain, and he's just a poster child with regards to how you want to play the game and how you want to prepare and take care of your body and all the different things. And I get that he doesn't make the splash plays and get all the stats and attention, but when his 3 reps or when his time on the field is done, I promise the person across from him felt him and wore him down, and that's what it's like the grind line in hockey. I mean, he is absolutely grinding and making you feel every little bit of all of them, and he's been fantastic this year.
When you guys chose to resign, I remember seeing his name, and I think all of us did. Like, you saw him as an unrestricted free agent. It's like, okay, well, he's going to go play for somewhere else. He'll just be replaced. But it seemed like you guys genuinely wanted him back. Were those reasons why? I mean, did you see him as someone who hadn't really scratched the ceiling?
Yeah, he's he is. To get guys to play the way we want them to play, and he's one of them. It's just, you just don't want to let those guys go. And just like I joked that if Joe could have 53 O linemen, I'd take 53 D linemen, right? And
how many snaps would Quinn play then?
Divian, 1 each. No, but Shep. When you got guys who represent everything you embody in a football player, from mindset, mentality, preparation, all the different things he does, their stats don't compare to what all the intangibles they bring. And he's just one of those guys that is, he does everything. And I know, like I said, the stats may not show up, but he's making a lot of productive plays from a coaching standpoint in terms of the things he does on the football field.
Kaz and then Janae.
Robert, the Patriots pass rush, we talked about Julian a few weeks ago, and they put up some good numbers this year. Just, we talk about Zach all the time, but how critical is it for your offensive line to kind of hold up against them this week?
Always. Like if a quarterback can sit back there and play 7-on-7, it's over. I don't care what you have in the back end. And it's why O-line, D-line for the history of football will always be at the forefront of building a football team. And if we can protect up front, not to say that they're not very good in the back end, you can have 5 Deion Sanders back there. It's going to be hard to hold up. And so it's always rushing coverage. But they do as good a job as anybody in mixing up their coverages and presenting just the relentless pocket push that they do and keeping the quarterback in the pocket and being disciplined in the rush lane. So it's like always, it's going to be a challenge.
Obviously, sure.
We're all aware. We're recognizing the University of Virginia, Lavelle Davis Jr., Deshaun Perry, Devin Coleman. On behalf of the Jets organization, we all want to extend our heartfelt condolences to their families and the entire UVA community. Just an absolute tragedy, and hopefully one day we get all this nonsense fixed.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys.